you can just keep walking along this river for miles and miles. This time I touched briefly on like how much money my wife was wanting or whatever. And I wanted to talk about like how expensive things here are in Japan, or from my point of view, how inexpensive things actually are. I've never understood the whole thing about Japan's expenses. Like, there's so many facets of life in which it's just objectively cheaper here. I know there's different levels for different people, but for me, the rent's cheaper, the prices of food, aside from fresh produce, is cheaper, and you save a lot. Like, fresh produce is a big part of, you know, a lot of people's diets, but I'm mainly talking like not even vegetables, just fruits pretty much that aren't made inside of Japan that are important, especially right now with the weak yen. You know, that kind of stuff's going to be more expensive, but vegetables are super cheap still compared to where I'm from in the rural US. Here I came down here off of the river, just walking along the highway. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about back where I live in the middle of nowhere in the US, where like the nearest supermarket's, you know, 30 minutes away. You're going to be paying like $400 minimum a month for rent, and there's no jobs around really. And I mean, it's like, what are you even paying for? You get a bigger place compared to Japan, but when I can get a place here for $400, that's like, you know, maybe 30 minutes outside of central Tokyo, and you can get a place for $400 if you're by yourself. That's really crazy, because then you have access to all of the jobs. It's just kind of, it's not even comparable. And so rent's cheaper, and then like your main vegetables and stuff, 100 yen for a head of lettuce. A lot of the times, I don't really have any more concrete examples than that, but there's a lot of other vegetables that are like that, just similarly, you know, reasonably priced. So, you know, you could be really frugal. And if you want to cut even further than just a normal lifestyle, I mean, you can move into an old building here, like I said, about 30 minutes outside of Tokyo. My wife actually, in the past, when I wasn't living here full time, I was just coming back and forth, and I needed to stay on a tourist visa for, you know, a few months. She found me a place that was like $250 per month. No contract or anything, you know. And I have no clue why they actually did this, but there was a problem with the bath, but they came and fixed it quickly. But just as an apology, they let me rent it out for $150 a month, which is insane, being right outside of Tokyo. $150 a month, you know. And it was old, but I mean, it's 2 rooms. One was a tatami room and one was like a Western style room, but 2 rooms for that and a kitchen. That was really good, I thought. The place that we found, like a Japan's equivalent to Craigslist. It's called Jimuti. It means like hometown board. It's like a play on the word hometown, Jimuto. Anyway, yeah, you can get a lot of stuff on there for free. Another example is like on that same site. When we first moved back here, my wife and I, about 3 years ago, bought a microwave oven. I mean, it has like like an actual oven built in its microwave. That was, what did we pay for that? Like $5, 500 yen. That included the delivery to us. Actually, it was free without the delivery to us, but $5 for the delivery to us. And then a fridge that's like between a normal sized fridge, we paid, so I don't know how much that would be in the US, but here we paid $40, 4,000 yen. The yen's gone down a lot since then, but at the time it was about $40. We've been using both of those things for about 3 years now. I mean, we're pretty frugal people, so, you know, I've never really felt the need to upgrade, but we've been using those flawlessly for 3 years. So it's just another facet. If you know where to look here in Japan, you know, things can be really cheap. Now, I will say, you're going to be getting the foreigner bump up on price. This is especially true for apartments, because if you go through just normal contracts and get apartments, you're going to be paying a lot more and getting a lot less than Japanese, and to actually try to circle only Japanese for like local deals on sites like I just mentioned, you will get a lot better results. Now, these people, I would imagine, they're not willing to deal with foreigners who don't speak Japanese fluently. But if you do, get a big leg up. In fact, the first place we stayed at this time, also our house rental contract was through there, and they were super lenient. We started renting it sight unseen. It was an amazing place, and they didn't even make us sign a contract or anything at the start. Eventually, they're like, here, when you get around to it, if you can sign this, that'd be good. And we did, but it was super simple to set up. It kind of breaks all the stereotypes of like Japanese being so obsessed with paperwork and everything. Another way, like, I don't think Japanese people, like, this image of them has gone outside of Japan at all. But they're actually, like, pretty much everyone I know here is super frugal, in the sense that, maybe not frugal, but they, like, they're always looking for deals, way more than we did in the US. Might just be because I was, you know, middle class, but everyone here is always searching for a deal. Like, no matter where you go, people are using their points. They have a point system for everything in Japan. Like, pretty much each store has their own point system. And, you know, in the US, I think it's pretty much mainly credit card points that people save up and use, which they also have here. But then on top of that, stores have their own point system to encourage you to keep going to only that store, you know. And which is fine, but it's just super annoying to want to be pulling out a different card for each and every store. The other thing is, like, a convenience store near me does this a lot, but I think it's not too uncommon. There's a lot of like convenience stores that will give out a free, you know, buy one get one free on a drink, or buy one get one half off. I mean, a lot of the times you get a whole free bottle of something for nothing. It's just like Campaign City. Like, I don't remember everything being that discounted in the US. Like, they were like, oh, get a chance to win something on certain products, but they were never like, I'm just bombarded with like cost-saving campaigns here, which is, I guess, good, but as a consumer, I don't want to have to think about it that much. Like, can you just pass these savings on instead of gamifying everything and trying to hijack my brain to like your brand or store more, you know? I mean, that's like almost the definition of points, right? Is that they're kind of walling off the savings to only their most loyal customers. Now, if you all are in Japan, tell me, like, how expensive things seem to you where you are. I know a lot of the perception of it being expensive isn't necessarily the particular cost, but the fact that you know, people's salaries are much lower here, you know, and a lot of household income being lower is because, you know, there's a lot more housewives as compared to the West, and but on the flip side of that, you don't have to pay for childcare, so it's very difficult to compare across countries, I think. But tell me what your perceptions of it is here, if you're living here, or if you're living outside of Japan. Just what do you guys think about it? Like, you know, I always thought of Japan as this super expensive city, Tokyo. Like, and I'm living just outside of Tokyo, you know, so obviously it's going to be a little bit cheaper, but I think even in Tokyo, you know, the prices of the commodities aren't ridiculously high. But technology is getting higher. I can look at this. This isn't a sidewalk. This is just the gutter, the sewer system that I'm walking on top of. We'll see. I'll just keep taking this till the very end. But like, I don't think about the yen decreasing in your daily life that much. It's just when you have to go back home that you start thinking of it, or when you go to buy something like an Apple product. Well, I don't buy Apple products, but you know, buy a foreign-made electronic, right? Then you really think of it. You're just like, what? Because you hear all the tech reviews of people talking in Japanese, and you're like, what is going on? That definitely affects, you know, it definitely affects your budget. I don't know what I hope. I don't know if I hope that gets better. I guess I really hope, you know, my true hope for my own personal gain is that I start making more money in US dollars eventually, and that I could just keep living in Japanese yen. It's kind of a contradictory feelings on that, though, because if that happens, that means my Japanese friends and family are going to have a harder time. So really, I hope it just gets better for everyone somehow. I do want to talk more about the couponing stuff. There's some funny little tricks you can do to save some money here. So tell me what you all think about that. Thanks for all the support on last thing. I really appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. And I didn't want my first video to be that, but I was drunk and feeling not good, and I was honestly pretty isolated. I thought, you know what? Let's start our YouTube, because I've been wanting to talk for a long time. What a better time. I actually have something going on in my life. What better time could there be, I guess, to talk. So thank you for hearing me out, everybody. So Let me know what you all think. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.